G'day YouTube, so another update video on my new old lathe. So I've been working away at it today since doing the introduction video, and I focused on getting the motor mounted, which I have now done. I haven't turned it on yet. I thought I'd bring the camera out here for the moment of truth, like the baby's first steps. I didn't want to miss capturing this on video. Right, so I'm going to turn it on for the first time now. So firstly I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so I don't know how well you can pick up all the detail on there. So I started off by mounting the motor to, obviously as always I raided my scrap metal bin, which is just behind you there. So this was a plate that I already had. I had to cut it down to size and I bolted the motor to that. The next thing I did was I took a couple of bits of tube that I had with a really long bolt. I'll just zoom in on that. I welded that to the plate and also to the frame that we're mounted on to make a hinge. So it's in three parts. Were welded here, welded here, welded here. Because obviously I had to take into account that if I'm going to put a V-belt on here, then I'm going to need some way of the motor needs to be able to pivot, much like an alternator in a car. So it pivots on this point, and I'll show you that in a minute before I start it up. And so to hold it down and keep tension, the next thing I had to do was this bracket here is threaded into a cross bar that goes underneath the bench. I've just got a slotted piece here which pivots on this bracket to allow it to follow the movement of the motor as it tilts up and down, and that holds it in place, this bolt through here, and that provides the tension. So what I'll do, I'll undo it so that you can see what I mean. So if I loosen that off, and don't need to undo it, just need to loosen it, then what can happen is on this hinge that I've made, it tilts back, and that allows for this belt to be pulled off quite easily. Just slip that back on, push it down, apply a little bit of weight for tension. And then tighten that tension bolt up. So, nice and snug. It's going to hold the tension on there, so there we go, so it's nice and tight. So yeah, it works just like it would with a an alternator on your car. Change the alternator belt. As I said before, I haven't started this up yet. The switch for this motor is on the back here, it's not plugged in, which obviously isn't ideal because this is the back of the lathe. So what I'll end up doing is I'll run this cabling underneath and mount a switch on the front. So, which might be without much further ado, let's get it plugged in. Make sure this is switched off. I don't know which way is off. Okay, that's off. Alright, now I've got the lathe set on the fastest speed, so that means I'm obviously on the biggest pulley on the back here. I'm on the biggest pulley at the back on this side with the belt and the smallest one at the front, so as my understanding is that will give us the fastest speed. I don't have the back gear engaged. I've got the pin in the main spindle. So alright, might as well just keep you on that angle, I think, and we'll turn her on. Fingers crossed, we've got a running lathe. and it doesn't all blow up on me. Are we ready? Okay, so it's turning. I expected it to turn a little bit faster than that. Oh, maybe this motor's had it after all. Oh, we got smoke coming out of it. Let's turn that off. Yeah. Well, that sucks. So it's no good under load. Might try just slackening it off a bit. We'll see if it makes any difference. So it's quite tight. Like that. We're still getting smoke. This might just be because it's old. That's not good. Let's unplug that. Alright, so I'm going to pull that apart. It might just be dusty or something, and then we'll bring you back. Okay, so I still haven't done anything. All I did was I took the cover off of here to see if anything was burning, and a bit of smoke come out of there from inside the motor, but once it cleared, it stopped. So it's running all right. Now the belt there is a bit noisy. I don't really have at this stage any sort of tools that I can do a test cut on. There's certainly a bit of vibration out of this belt, but I've got to replace that. I don't know whether that's going to make a difference. Right, no, I'm happy with that. That looks good. So we had the belt a bit tight. Certainly spinning up nice and fast. Lower speed now. Put this cover back on. I really think I'm going to need to do something to shore this up. I might bring brackets down. I might bring, I don't know if you can even see what I'm talking about. This seems to get a bit of wobble and shake in it, so I might bring some brackets down here or something to secure that up. But this all seems okay. Pop this back on. So that smoke just seems to be blowing out the cobwebs, which I'm sure there were few when I pulled this out from my shelf the other day and turned it over. Underneath the base here was full of bloody, it had a redback in there, and it was full egg sacs and web and crap. So I'll pop this back on. And what I'll do is we'll knock it down to the slowest speed. See what that looks like. Out here so we can engage the back gears. We only need to find a spot to put this so I don't lose it. Engage the back gear. I'm wondering if there's going to be too much load for the motor. Does not want to go in. There we go. Better. Alright, I'll just show you the chuck. Running there on the slowest speed. I don't know how many RPM that'll be. Alright, so I made that about 84 RPM. I have no idea if I'll ever need it that slow. Let's try it on with the back gears on there. Certainly noisy, those back gears, aren't they? Alright, disengage that. Let's pin back in. Bearing at the back here, generating a lot of heat. I'll show you. These bearings here, just from that short amount of running, are generating a lot of heat. I don't know if there's a problem with the bearings in there or there's no bearings. Need to do something about that in the future. Put some oil in there to probably help. It'd be nice to be able to put some new roller bearings in there. That's something I can make. So now that the lathe's going, the first thing I want to do obviously is see if I can get it to make some chips. I didn't have any sort of proper tooling. I had a piece of square bar that I'm pretty sure is not, I mean it's pretty bright, but I'm pretty sure like 99.99% it's not tool steel, and I gave it a rough grind on the belt sander. I don't know if this is actually going to work or not, but that's why I've only really chucked up a piece of aluminium in there. Not chucked up particularly well either, but you know, all these things are going to come with time and experience, and you know, I was obviously pretty keen to make some chips, so let's see what happens. Alright, an absolutely shocking finish as you would expect. But still, first chips, gotta be happy.